As far as your basic operation of your laser, let's go through that now and go through turning the laser on. What we're going to do is press both up and down arrows on either side of the knob simultaneously. You'll get a green light and your red LED on top will light up. We can go ahead and release and the system will turn on. Now there's two things to remember when turning the laser on. First and foremost, the emergency stop switch must be up. Second, your fiber must be pulled out, approximately half an inch. You can have it resting, and that's fine. If the emergency stop switch is left down when you're turning the laser on, you'll notice the laser will let you know and will not progress any farther. Here it's telling me that the switch is down and that I need to pull it up. You can pull the switch up, and it will continue with the system check and turn itself on. The laser is on right now. To turn your laser off, it's quite simple actually. I recommend you hold the base of the laser here and then just lean the laser forward. That's it. Turning it off. To turn it back on, again, both arrows, press and hold. Our lights will turn on and release. This time we'll show you what the laser will do if you forget to pull the fiber out, which we've done in this case. There's our warning from the laser that our fiber's been left in. We need to grab the fiber, pull it out, and the laser will continue turning itself on. So remember, emergency stop switch up, fiber up, hold your two buttons, and the laser will turn on.
This is your start menu. This is the menu that'll appear when you first turn your laser on. These are all the presets that are inside the laser. You can press the arrows here and scroll down. There'll be about 20 to 25 pre-programmed procedures in the laser already. You can program up to 99 of them. They're all named for you already, and in this case, initiation is the first one. Once I find one that I want, simply press OK, and it'll take me right into my home screen. Let's go through the home screen itself and tell you exactly what you're looking at here. First of all, of course, the large numbers are my power reading, in this case showing 600 milliwatts. On the top right corner, I have my average power reading, also 600 milliwatts in this case. Across the bottom, I have 6 blue squares. The first of which I can highlight there, and that is my power. I can highlight that and use my knob and increase or decrease power. The second right now says CW, which is continuous wave. That's also my pulse duration on time. So I can select that and rotate the knob, and I instantly go into pulsing. In this case, 100 microseconds on and 100 microseconds off. I can continue to rotate my knob and go to 300, 400, so on and so forth, up to a millisecond. And then in millisecond durations, I can go up to a full second. So that's my pulse duration on time. The next square has 4 zeros on it, and you can view that as like an odometer on your car. That'll actually keep track of the amount of energy being used, so it'll calculate your dosage for you. The bottom right corner with the little picture of the door will take you into the sub-menus of the laser. The lower button here in the middle, which reads 100 microseconds right now, is your pulse duration off time, or your interval. Right now that reads 100 microseconds. Again, you can select that and spin the knob and select whichever interval you want up to a full second, in both micro and milliseconds. Finally, the last one in the lower left here reads P01, showing me that I'm on preset number 1. I can select that, rotate, and go to preset 2, 3, 4, and so on, all the way up to 99. And they're all named. Now, another way I can change the presets is by pressing and holding that button. So I can press and hold, in this case it says P05, and it takes me right back to my start screen. Here I can select the preset as well. In this case, let's go to Implant Uncovery, select, and press OK. Now again, I can change my power by pressing and selecting that square and rotating my knob. I can also press and hold that button, and it'll take me to this screen. Here you can just touch the bar here and slide your finger across, kind of like an iPad, or an iPod I should say, and select whatever power setting you'd like. You can also use the knob here as well. Press your little door and it takes you right back home. On the pulse duration settings, you can also press and hold this, and you may do this on accident or intentionally, but it'll take you to a screen that looks like this. This is a pulse table showing all the different pulse durations I can select on this laser. Micro, milliseconds, 100 millisecond durations, and full second durations. And you'll notice every little square is white. I can actually select a pulse duration and black them out. And by blacking them out, what I've done is made them unselectable when I get back to the home screen. So I'll go home. It'll save that to memory. And now as I rotate through my pulse durations, whatever I've blacked out will no longer be selectable. I can also do that for my interval or my off time as well. Finally, on the top right corner where my average power reading is, I can also change that to read out hertz or joules. So in this case, my setting is 3 watts, 900 microseconds on, 900 microseconds off. So I'm on and off for the exact same amount of time, giving me a 50% duty cycle, which means my average power, which is shown here, is half of 3, which is 1.5 watts. So the computer will automatically do these calculations for you and show your average power right on top, which is incredibly important. If I wanted to change that, I can press and hold that top corner of the screen there, and I can have that read hertz or joules. If I select hertz, I select it, press the little door, and now it's showing me that I'm at 556 hertz. I would highly recommend that you leave that at average power for the time being while you're getting to know your laser a little bit better. So now let's go ahead and go through how I'm going to change the names of my presets and also change and save the settings for my presets. So what I'm going to do is press and hold my preset button to take me back to my start screen. And I can select any one of these pre-programmed settings. In this case, I'll select preset 2, which is crown preparation / retraction. I can press and hold that button, and a screen will come up with a keyboard. I can delete the name out altogether if I want, or add to it and rename it. Once I've added the name, I can press return, and it'll save that to memory. I can reorganize, rename these settings as much as I want. Select OK. And this is my setting as pre-programmed for crown preparation or retraction. Now I may find after using the laser for a couple of weeks or even a couple of days that I prefer 4.2 watts with 100 microseconds on and 200 microseconds off. That's perfectly fine. You can go ahead and select 4.2, and in this case, to save it to memory, I'm going to press and hold both arrows just like I'm turning the laser on. You'll see a disc with a check mark come up, and the laser's just committed that to memory. So you can change these settings and change your presets as many times as you want, and you may find you doing that quite often as you begin to become more efficient with your laser. You may find that you like a few different pulse settings or a few different power settings, and that's perfectly fine. You can always save them and it'll record it to memory. Next, I'm going to press that little door on the bottom right corner, and we'll go through the menu. Now I have 2 menus. This is the first one, and we'll go through what all of these mean. On the top left corner, I can press and hold that, and right now mine says 46, and it's got a circle and a little X in it. That is the aiming beam intensity. You'll see my aiming beam came on here, my green light, and right now it reads 46. I can rotate that up to 100. Vice versa, I can rotate that down to 0, and it'll increase or decrease the intensity of that aiming beam. Oops. The next square over right now reads 0 hertz. That'll go from 1 to 6, and that'll simply make the aiming beam blink. It's common just to leave that at 0 and have it on continuously. The next square here on the top right corner is the brightness and the contrast of the screen itself. At 100 at its brightest, and of course I can turn that down to 5. Here is the brightness of our ready button, which is down here. Right now it's at 80. You can set that to 100 or 0 as well. This square reads out 100, and that's the volume of the beeping. I would always leave that at 100 as well. Finally, the bottom right box will read 10, and that will change the tone of the beep. Typically we leave that at 10 as well, as it's the highest pitched tone. The next menu is right below this one, so I'm going to press my down arrow. And this menu is pretty important. You have 4 pieces of information this menu will show you. The first of which you cannot change or manipulate, it's simply there for diagnostic reasons, is the internal temperature of the laser, in this case reading 27 degrees. The next square over is important, and that right now is showing me 85, and it'll bounce between 85 and 86 in this case. And that's my battery life on the laser. So if you ever need to check your battery life, this is where you want to go. Below that is the internal humidity, again, which cannot be changed. It's simply there for diagnostic reasons. And to the left of that, this square here, which reads 60, it may read 100 on your laser right now. That is the automatic turn-off time on the laser in minutes. I typically would recommend you go to 60 or maybe something a little shorter. You can even go to 45 minutes. And if the laser's been left on for that long, it'll turn itself off. If I ever get here on accident or get to the menus and I just want to go back home, you simply press your little door. It'll take you right back to your home screen. Finally, your USB stick. You have an auxiliary port on the side of the laser that this slides right into. Go ahead and push that in. And to access the information on the USB stick, I'm going to select my menu. And on the lower left corner, you have the letter I. And hit the information button and the question mark. And it's accessing what's on the USB stick. On the USB stick, you have a few bits of information. Predominantly all the videos. The onboard videos reside on that USB stick, and you can see them here designated with little film clip. So you can select, in this case we'll select laser curettage. Just push it, and it'll begin playing for you. And you can watch the video fully through. On the top right corner, it'll have settings. And you can stop it at any time by just pushing the screen. And that'll take you back to your home menu. There's also an indications page where you can read suggestions and settings for any procedure that you can do on this laser. To get back home, I'm just going to keep pressing my little door until I get back to the home menu.